What's the motherfucking deal, Sauce Nation? You know what I'm saying? It's Wink Wednesday, as y'all know. So I hope y'all all feeling fresh and full of flavor because you know it's going to go down tonight. We like to say we're trying to get this saucy thing under control. Make sure y'all check the description box below. Show Wink some love and check out Third Coast Sports TV. You know what I'm saying? The link below. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you show a lot of love if you like what he's talking about tonight, which I know you will. So let's just dive into it, man. Like I say, first and foremost, y'all already know when the stream gets started, man, we do the roll call. So make sure you shout out where you're from. Even if you're not from the city, make sure you shout out where you're from, your state, your country, your continent, whatever the motherfucker might be. You know what I'm saying? Make sure we show some love. If you are from the city, make sure you shout out your side. You know what I'm saying? If it's your school, if it's your job, whatever your hood, whatever you want to shout out, man. Like I say, it's all love. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to get into some of the shit that's going down in the city. You know what I'm saying? This week. We going back up against the shit that we've been talking about since the season opener, the motherfucking Jacksonville Jaguars. And I'm not looking forward to it, but then again, at the same time, I'm almost not necessarily tripping. So going into this week, man, looking at what we working with, looking at, you know, the situation that happened the first meeting, how do you feel about going into this game?
I don't think it's going to be as vicious. But I still think it's going to be a beatdown, though. I mean, we just too depleted. We're way too depleted right now to really make a stand, so really take over this game. Not saying that we can't win, because it's you know, it's very possible we can win, but I just don't see it going, especially the way that Boye and Ramsey playing right now, and the way that they front playing. They so fast, you know what I'm saying, and they shutting down the run, so they gonna pretty much make us one-dimensional. You know, across the board, and then, you know, mistakes is going to end up happening later on in the fourth quarter, because I see us starting out, coming out hard, you know, the first couple of plays. We're going to end up hitting them probably with some big plays, you know, scheming them, you know, for the first half, and then Bill O'Brien going to get conservative and stop doing what he's supposed to be doing, whatever's working, you know, and implement some shit that's not going to work, and that's what's going to lose us the game. And you know, I see Blake Bortles being able to get out of the pocket and making some plays with his feet, and that shit been killing us all season, even with quarterbacks like Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco could get like 40 yards against us to help him, you know, move the ball, you know what I'm saying, and get plays downfield and check into the right place. Then I don't see no reason why the Jags can't do it with a much better running back.
Okay. So like I say, we had a couple on the roll call. So we got I'll be on that miles there. We got Laredo in the mix, Northeast in the mix. Somebody claiming the couch tonight. Brooklyn, New York. Okay, New York in the house. Say word, son. Say word, son. True to life, yo.
Hey,
bad
if
life.
y'all in the stream, if y'all in the stream and y'all not a fresh ingredient, y'all go ahead and y'all hit that subscribe button along with that bell icon so y'all can get all instant notifications to Ed Honcho's channel.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that. We got Friendswood in the mix, Baytown, Dirty Bay. I see y'all. Fourth Ward in the mix, San Marcos. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Shit, we got the SWAT in the mix. Okay, I see y'all. Y'all represent from all over, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I definitely agree, man. Like I see, this is one of those games where, you know, I mean, the odds are really fucking stacked against you. I just hate the fucking situation we in, because, you know, these motherfuckers just been talking shit. Y'all know how it is. Y'all been fucking with the flavor. And I'm sure I'm sure some of y'all gonna pull up. They gonna see them in the stream tonight. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting for them.
Yeah.
So, you know, they've been talking shit all since the beginning of the year. But like I say, you know, when you put a depleted team out there, you got to be realistic and know there's only so much that you can do.
Exactly.
You know, Yates is gonna be limited in what he does. And you just gotta hope that the weapons that you do have somehow, some way can just find a way to pull something off. But I mean, it's just looking real dim. You know, if you want to be realistic about it, you can be real hopeful. You know what I'm saying? There is a slight possibility, but just being realistic is not looking very good. You know what I mean? And even though Yates, I see people talking about the Bengal killing, you know, some of those other little comebacks and all that. And it's possible. That's why I say it's possible, but
I think we got a real good chance of winning the game, and the reason why, as I say that, is because look at the type of chemistry he had with the O-line, because he played very good behind the O-line. I mean, true enough, I know the pressure was on, and, you know, Pro Football Focus was saying this and saying that, but judging by what they really gave up, he didn't really get any sacks. He didn't, you know, I mean, the run game was the major problem, and that's because you got dudes across the line playing out of position.
Yeah, exactly.
Which has been but which has been a major thing, with Bill O'Brien. And another key factor that I've never discussed when discussing the O line, a lot of times dudes on our O line can't even be effective, not only just from a scheme perspective, but like they playing out of fucking position.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
fucking what they made Jeff Allen, they signed him last season,
Yeah,
they made him a right guard when he's a left guard. Like that's
yeah,
so dumb. Like if you were gonna like Xavier Suafilo can pull from any side, and honestly he would be more effective if he was on the right side versus the left side. Because most run plays go to the right. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, don't get me wrong, you have plays and you have a lot of versatility that could be used within this team. But like I said, and like I keep saying, Bill O'Brien has underutilized talent that he's had on the field, and people can sit here and say, "Oh, Rick Smith did this and did that." At the end of the day, Hard Knocks said it all for me when he was on the very first show when he told everybody, "Man, all these dudes are the dudes that I wanted," and
yeah,
he put emphasis on that I wanted. So at the end of the day, he put the talent on the field. Last time I checked, Rick Smith ain't out here training nobody. You know what I'm saying? He's not working on conditioning. He's not working on technique. All he's doing is giving you some of the tools. And has he been, lackluster in certain areas, especially from his last offseason? I will give y'all that because we seeing, the benefits of what Boye would be playing like if had he been on his team. He easily would
yeah.
have been the number one corner. You know what I'm saying? And maybe and he honestly last year he covers up a lot of deficiencies that other guys behind him had, from the safeties to other cornerbacks. We weren't getting beat deep like this because he was a physical corner. And I know some people will sit out here and say, "Oh, well, he has a lot of penalties." At the end of the day, shit, he ain't giving no big plays either.
Yeah, but
So
that's
which
what
one would you
the
rather have?
and see that, but that's what I see like the Jags. The Jags to me, they use that Seahawks formula, play real aggressive. Take those penalties and live with what you
Yeah,
got. And so
exactly.
they have the talent to be able to do that. So I say Tenny disagreeing with you, man. Tenny say that's on Rick, man. You say he let
And
everybody walk in free agency. Shout out to Visionary. I see you in the mix, Visionary, man. If you ain't
man,
fucking with
Visionary,
Visionary
I
shit,
love your
I'm
videos,
telling you,
man.
hey, if you're not fucking
Man,
with Visionary,
please,
you tripping. Make sure you subscribe and check that shit out. Visionary
if
got the dopest highlights on the tube, man.
you got to make the dopest, man, by fan request. I'm a huge fan of your work, man. Been following you for a little while right now. You have got to make another video for Deshaun Watson, because I love the one you did, the so far video. I watch that shit like on a regular, and you definitely got to do a major shout out to Jadeveon Clowney, because he does not have a live ass highlight video from anybody. Like everybody who does a
Shit.
video on him, it be lackluster, and you definitely got to do a
35
major video
touchdown.
for Hopkins.
Man. But yeah, man, like I say, that's yeah, Visionary definitely come with the digital dope, man. If y'all ain't
Oh man,
on that shit, man, y'all tripping. So definitely shout out to Visionary. Appreciate you following through. Man,
yeah.
shout out to everybody who following through, man. Like I say, I see South Station in here pretty deep tonight. I know Wink Wednesdays is
Anybody
always
got
real
any
popular.
questions? And shout out to everybody, because I ain't get to shout out nobody. You know what I'm saying? Tenny, all you boys, man. Dominic Delgado, Alpha X. Ferocious Slasher. I'll be seeing you, man.
Yeah,
Darren, if you in here, everybody that's in here. My wife, if you in here and you tuned into the stream, go ahead and leave me a heart.
already. So that's cool. That's what's up, man. But so I know a lot of people been asking. We're gonna talk about that in a second. I know somebody mentioned, about I'm still been hearing a lot of talk. I forgot I slid somewhere across the city the other day, and I happened to tune into one of the stations, and they talking real crazy. But I mean, a lot of people are saying that about
Right.
B.O.B. being on the hot seat. Yeah, you got some love in here. Okay. She in the mix. She sent you some hearts. Okay.
Oh yeah. Baby.
But yeah, so it's talking about B.O.B. and a lot of people think that, or they believe that he's on the hot seat. I think last year, if he wasn't gone last year from the shit that was kind of going on and the tensions that
Yeah.
they had last year was more of an issue than it was this year. I think, I don't feel like you can put it on him this year, with all the injuries and everything that he took in. How do you feel about
Yeah.
that situation? Do you feel like he's on the hot seat? Do you feel like he deserves at least another year with Deshaun, a fair shot at working with
I'll say
Deshaun?
this. I feel he had next year anyway, because he's already under contract for 4 years. I mean, for 5 years, and they weren't gonna get rid of him, because at the end of the day, what options do you have to even bring in?
Mm-hmm.
My only candidate to bring in from a certified coach who I know could fit to Deshaun's Watson's that will fit his talent, along with the running back talent we have, and I know that he's good at scouting good old linemen and he's done this throughout his tenure of any football team he's played for, and that's Mike Shanahan. I know people haven't really thought about it. You know, they were like, "Oh, Mike Shanahan." Mike Shanahan's scheme is the same as Kyle Shanahan's scheme. You know what I'm saying? A little different, a little bit. You know, I could say you could break off a lot bigger runs in a Mike Shanahan scheme versus a Kyle Shanahan scheme, but they're both equally effective. They both do a lot of bootlegs. They do a lot of run pass options if you have that type of quarterback, which we do have in Deshaun Watson. So at the end of the day, I don't see any reason why. And if anybody feels that he wouldn't be a good option, tell me why. Because he has a championship pedigree, a 2-time championship pedigree at that. He knows how to mesh with quarterbacks when they have talent. This team has the talent, and you can't tell me what he would be able to do with DeAndre Hopkins, Will Fuller. He actually knows how to use tight ends and running backs.
Okay.
And good line formations.
Okay, so in a situation like that, now I know, you know, a lot of people look at it like B.O.B. is going to get some extra leeway because of how he handled the situation. I think a lot of people say, and that's something I've said too, you know, it's the players been going to bat for him because, like I say, I don't know if you follow some of them on Twitter or not, but, you know, Deshaun tweeted out an article basically saying, you know, I want O'Brien, you know what I'm saying, that's who I want as my coach. You know, Clowney backing him up, and also, who was it? Somebody of Savage.
The whole team is going to back him up.
Yeah, and so I think in a situation like that, especially with everything you have, I think that automatically done bought him. You know, because if Deshaun, he's a future star, I think off the strength of his word alone and what he wants, you're gonna respect that because he's going to be the future, the face of your franchise. Yeah. So you're gonna give him that, you know, at least
for quite
try it
some
out.
time.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. So it's gonna be interesting.
I feel with the situation that you know, he has, like I've been trying to tell people, he has more clout right now than J.J. Watt. You have to sit here and say, "Oh, he's the hero," and this and that, and what he's done in the past. At the end of the day, the past is the past, and now is now. You know what I'm saying? From what we've been able to see so thus far for this season, I mean, he contributed a lot. You know, in terms of pressure, in terms of run stops. You know, making some plays in the backfield. You know, he wasn't able to get to the quarterback. It's not entirely his fault because he was still getting in the swing of things while he was getting on the field. Yeah. And I felt that, you know, a couple of weeks from now, he would have really started showing off and get back to the J.J. Watt of old. But, you know, since that hadn't happened, we're going to always look at the season in retrospect, just like we're going to continue to do with Deshaun Watson, because we're going to be brutally honest right now. You can't sit here and tell me that he wouldn't have better than Carson Wentz numbers right here. He would easily have 34 to 36 touchdowns passing, and he would at least have 6 rushing touchdowns right now with at least 500 yards. Easy right now. You know what I'm saying? So Deshaun Watson is the face of the franchise, and at the end of the day, his presence and what he says has to be taken into account, even though I know players aren't really implemented when it comes to making decisions towards the organization. But Bill O'Brien has definitely earned himself another year, so we can see what he can do with a fully healthy Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, you got to put those two things together because, like I say, if that's what they both, well, he's under contract, but and the thing is, like another thing that's been noticed several times. One, like you say, who else you gonna go get? Even though I'm sure it'd be a couple of people who would love to come play with Deshaun. So talking about another person leaving out, we're gonna jump sports for just a second, man. Like I said, I know you don't keep up with the basketball as much, so I'll make sure to headline you as much as I can. But right now, Oklahoma City been playing like pure D garbage, and I know a lot of people have been talking about Paul George getting traded because basically, you know, if he walks, you're not going to get anything from. You're not going to really get anything for Anthony anyway. And the guys that you traded for Paul George, they've been balling. Yeah. So they playing against him right. Matter of fact, I don't even know what the score was. Last I saw it, Indiana was winning. So the guys that basically you traded to get Paul George have been playing better than Paul George. Shit, the motherfucker been playing better than Russell Westbrook. You got these 3 guys together as a big 3, and they have out of the 33 people who qualify for the stat, they're basically 33, 32, and number 30 in the worst shooting percentage in the league. So, I mean, these guys are supposed to be superstars. People are trying to figure out, how's it going to work for the Rockets? But then you got these guys going on. So I'm curious, Sauce Nation, how do y'all feel, you know, about the Paul George situation? Would you guys entertain a trade for someone on the Rockets, or do you feel? I personally, I know how I feel, but like I say, so I'm not going to address that, but I'll say it afterwards.
Right.
How would you feel? Trying to add that third superstar. We know Morey is a star chaser. Trying to add a third superstar to the Rockets to see if they can enhance what they have right now, which is already the number one offense in NBA history, like in NBA history.
Top NBA history.
NBA history, yeah, number one offense right now. Yeah, exactly. So do you risk messing that up to try to go land that other big name, or do you sit tight with what you got?
Absolutely not. The only big name that will be added, that potentially can be added, and it looks like, and we have the tools to recruit him, is LeBron James. That's it. That's the only other superstar that I'm worried about that'll put this team over to the edge and it'll be completely lethal for the next 4 to 6 years. That will happen. If LeBron James comes, because he stays healthy, even though he's been in the league for at least, 13, 14 years now, he's still 15. Very healthy. He takes care of his body. He doesn't sustain a lot of injuries. He's durable, and he's a type of player that would fit on this team with the way that CP3 is facilitating the ball, along with the big men that we have in Nene and Capella to guard the boundary. You have the perfect team set up to run the house, if not be better than the OKC team a year or two ago.
Yeah.
You easily go 76-6. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's easy.
If Chris Paul wouldn't have been hurt, it'd have been a different story. It'd have been a completely different story. I think you might knock off about 2 of those losses. If Chris Paul wouldn't have been hurt, we might be, like I say, I don't know how many losses we have, if any, because it's been ridiculous since he's gotten back. So I see a lot of people saying Bron, they prefer Bron. They agree they'd rather have LeBron instead of Paul George.
Of course. Anybody who says anything different, and all these dudes who claim they hate LeBron, wait until LeBron get on your team, and I guarantee you're gonna love him.
Yeah. Man, yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna have to. That's the thing that's gonna be interesting. But I think Fertitta, Wise was talking about, we're gonna have to match the max on Capella, because somebody's gonna offer him the max the way he's been playing, and you got to retain Capella. And but I think what's his name is gonna be cool with spending some money. And I heard he ain't gonna be tripping too much on the luxury tax if he gotta, he gotta do that. So he got bread. So he ain't.
LeBron got too many. He got too many. Bro, he fucks with Warren Buffett. You think he hurting for money like Sprite, Nokia, and Beats by Dre, and just the fact that he's with the with the NBA Association, and he makes shit happen for basketball, and that's why basketball is thriving the way it is because he's one of the major superstars in the sport that's involved in what goes on in the sport, and people listen to LeBron James. I don't care if you hate him. Okay. I don't care if you love him. I don't care what it is. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, this man demands and he garners respect wherever he goes, regardless of how you feel his legacy is. His legacy is not Michael Jordan. So I don't know why people keep trying to. He was never a Michael Jordan. He was always like a Magic Johnson. He was never a Michael Jordan. That belongs to Kobe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Kobe tried to duplicate that. Yeah.
Personality-wise.
Yeah, absolutely. So I see a couple of folks saying, okay, I ain't know that visionary that we had bird rights on CP3 too. See, I didn't realize that. So yeah, we can. Okay, so that's cool then. So that means we can go over.
And I appreciate the follow on IG, visionary. I just saw the notification come through a few minutes ago, man. I appreciate that.
Really, that's real. That's what's up. So here's the thing though, with Melo not gonna want to come off the bench. You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing. If they trying to offer up Melo, I don't even want the motherfucker. Like, I know we was hyped about the shit over the summer that it sounded real good.
Oh yeah.
But then you see how the shit looks now. It's like, why mess up what you have? You got a dynamic duo. You don't need a trio right now because apparently adding one of them motherfuckers, it ain't shaking. Them motherfuckers unhappy. And the thing is, what's his name? The GM for Oklahoma City. He's going to take a bunch of L's come this off season because, like I said, you're gonna have Carmelo gonna bounce if they don't trade him, and Paul George gonna bounce if they don't trade him, and they're not gonna get anything from him because they gave up a bunch of shit to get both of those players to try to put some motherfuckers who want to play with Russell, but don't nobody want to play with Russell. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
And that's what I mean.
Don't nobody want to play with no Westbrook, man. Ain't nobody got time for all that bullshit he be trying to pull. He be hogging the rock. Yeah. I'm not gonna. It's gonna be a season where one of his teammates gonna steal the fuck out of him right there on the court in front of everybody. He gonna get done like how Kerry Kittles did Kobe. Just two-piece his ass right there in front of everybody on camera. You know what I'm saying? Because the dude he does too much. He's over the top. I understand he has a lot of talent. He's very quick. He's got handles. He can shoot. He's very aggressive. But at the end of the day, man, he's just a B player. He ain't a team player. So at the end of the day, he's gonna do more harm than good.
Yeah,
So
because he's shooting the
that
worst out of
franchise is
everybody.
doomed. That franchise is doomed, bro.
Yeah, that's okay. So right now the Thunder up by 6 on the Pacers. But see, yeah, that's the thing. Like I say, you motherfuckers last year was talking about, oh, okay, well Westbrook didn't have any talent. Shit, you got Oladipo. They go trade off Oladipo and what's his name, and they go off and they both ball. Oladipo getting offensive player of the week and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Once a motherfucker has a chance to really get his shine on, you know, without the motherfucker hogging the ball, shit, then that provides that provides an opportunity for him to shine.
I gotta say this, Honcho, because I really just thought of this shit, and it makes perfect sense. What I'm gonna say, a lot of people gonna get in here, and they probably not gonna get how I'm gonna say it, or really, you know, they probably not gonna agree with what I'm gonna say. But most people haven't really disagreed with me in this stream, except for a few issues. But I will say, how is what Westbrook did last year? I know he was an MVP candidate. I know he was the MVP and all of that bullshit. But how was what he did, pad his stats, stat-wise, how was that any different than what Blake Bortles did for the Jaguars 3 years ago when Allen Robinson came out of nowhere? He was getting all his garbage time points. How is that any different? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get to do a lot of shit in garbage time. You taking 60, 50 shots. You mean 45 point 30 to 40 team, like, come on, bro. Like, nobody else has a chance when you taking that many damn shots. Like, that's more than half of the team's production. So when you doing that, how in the hell could you be claimed the MVP when you take that many shots? It's fucking ridiculous.
Okay. Somebody say to ask you if you saw the video of Mayweather saying he might go to the UFC, and somebody else said UFC offered Mayweather
I saw that
fight deal. I didn't come across this. So what happened with that?
I saw it earlier.
I didn't get a chance to see it. So
what
he was
happened
talking about?
Well, he was on Instagram Live just shooting shit to the fans, you know, just chopping it up, you know, and was just putting out some game, and was talking about his life, and was just going over, just sitting and was asking fans, man, who y'all want me to talk about? Y'all want me to talk about Oscar? He was like, y'all want me to talk about the boys in UFC? He was like, shit, they already didn't offer me plenty money. He's saying in 4 fights I can be and made me another $1 billion. You know what I'm saying? If I want to be able to make that kind of money. So at the end of the day, he was like, because I'm the money man and they got to pay me.
Yeah.
He just put it out there that if he want that, he can go get it. So I mean, it is what it is.
Okay. Man, yeah, I be seeing KD. KD got a YouTube channel. That boy don't be getting no love, dog. How you a celebrity like that? I see somebody talking about KD. Somebody say Loma Bees, he need to fight Mikey Garcia. What you think about that?
That's a definite fight, and that fight got to happen. And this is the only way that I'm even gonna put Lomachenko even in top 5 conversation, because with what he just did to Rigo, I have to put him in pound for pound, because Rigo was a pound for pound fighter, and it's the only pound for pound fighter that Loma's even beaten. You know what I'm saying? I will give him the benefit of the doubt that he was 37 and a couple other things, and he jumped up. Rigo was the one who came up to be great, not Loma. Loma wasn't being great by fighting a dude who had to come up 2 weight classes to get the fight, because he wasn't gonna do a catchweight fight at 128 to go fight him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, he came to terms. He only got paid $400,000 for the fight. He quit, and it's over with. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, Lomachenko will be great. And Lomachenko, not that he's not a great fighter, because he has great skills, great skill set. He can do some things that I'm just going to say it, I've never seen no white boy do.
Yeah.
I just got to say it like that. I mean, I'll give him his props, because he works hard at his craft. You know what I'm saying? And, he's giving a lot of people hope that don't get to see people that look like him be champion.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's doing something that pretty much no other white boy has done, they loving that. They pumping him up, and in 11 fights, they already claiming him to be the pound for pound #1 fighter. They even going as far as to say at 130, and we know how deadly Pretty Boy Floyd was at 130.
Oh,
we know goddamn well that's a horrible matchup for Lomachenko. Not only was he bigger, physically his mass was bigger, but his reflexes at 130 was just fucking cheetah-like. Like, you couldn't hit him. He hit so hard at 130. Like, it was just ridiculous, bro. Like, How he did Diego Corrales, who was 6'2", who outweighed him by 20 pounds, and you mean to tell me that Lomachenko has the skills at 130 with a Floyd Mayweather in the 90s that he's gonna beat him? I don't fucking think so,
yeah,
bro.
Man.
Dream on. This because I guarantee you, fucking Floyd Mayweather would have ended up being Lomachenko's Freddy Krueger nightmare. Like that's a nightmare on him. Street.
Yeah, that's what Floyd was untouchable, dog. He just wasn't the younger, as he got older, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't hitting like he was when he was young, but shit, he was untouchable. Then he would pop your motherfucking ass too. So
but people, you naturally don't. But things plus the reason why he wasn't knocking dudes out. People think that, oh, just because you're a great fighter, you doing this and you doing that, bro. These dudes, bro, this nigga moved up 5 weight classes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So he went from 130 all the way up to 1. He fought his highest he fought up to was like 152 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Like this dude never like 10 pounds over his limit in fights when he comes in the fight weight. If you know anything about fight weight, if you know anything about boxing, about combat sports, period, the fact that he's so disciplined to run, this nigga's doing 21 rounds straight in training camp. No other fighter does this.
Let me
now, we talking about he was doing this at 38, 39, 21 rounds straight. That's fucking ridiculous. Do you know how long that is?
Man.
What, 20 straight, not 21 rounds, 21 minutes straight with no breaks. That's fucking hard.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, man. Yeah, I had to get some. Had to get some spam out the chat for a second. Talking about giving away phones and shit. That shit.
Old buddy back with the Big Mac shit. Please just time him out.
Every time we come around that shit. Oh no, it was some other shit. It was some old phone giveaway shit. But yeah, man. So all right, we're gonna slide back over to the Texans situation and. So
let me know any of the questions that they got going on because we haven't got to nobody's.
Yeah, absolutely. Questions. Like I said, it might have been a couple I passed. I'm trying to go scroll back. We're getting mostly a couple of statements here and there. Right. So how do you feel about the situation?
Oh, y'all just repost y'all questions.
How do you feel about the situation? We're gonna match up on Hopkins, and will they be able to hold him down?
Well, the good thing about this was a point I was gonna make earlier. This is another point I was gonna make earlier. It's a good thing that T.J. Yates is starting, and the fact that he gets a full week of practice, that he gets to practice he gets to practice with DeAndre White, he gets to practice with Will Fuller, so he knows where he wants the ball when he needs to go on the deep routes. Because he tried to hit him a couple of times down deep, but he couldn't get the timing down right, and he didn't get to put the ball where it needed to be to get it put in Will Fuller's hands. So I see that being a major benefit along with Steven Anderson this week. Yeah. They have to Lamar Miller and Andre Ellington involved in this passing game as well. I feel you cannot go another game and you cannot leave these dudes offset because they're going to end up stopping the run. Yeah. I'm just going to say that. They're going to end up stopping our run because they front is still very healthy. They so fast, but that's the downfall to them. The fact that they got a smaller, the reason why we're more effective against the runs because we have a lot of bigger run stuff on top of the guys. So eat up a lot, so dudes can't get in a lot of jump up lanes and they can't cut backside on us. You can do that when you have a smaller front seven. And I'm not talking like front four because they front fours beat the fuck up. Yeah. I'm talking about their linebackers. They're extremely fast, they're extremely athletic, but don't have the punch and the ability to really fire through because they don't have the body mass. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? To compensate for a lot of jump cut back lanes and and a lot of vision moves, you know what I'm saying? But the fact that and not the in the last couple of weeks I could say that Lamar Miller hasn't been as decisive as he should be.
Yeah.
He hasn't hit the hole the last couple of weeks like he should. And weeks prior, he was hitting them, he was seeing them. But I can understand that's due to the shuffling of personnel being out of position. So it goes back to scheme, and that goes back to coaching. Because if you were coached up right, you would be effective no matter who the fuck is in front of you. So that's just how I feel about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that cohesion within the line, that's just going to be something that you're going to have to deal with because there hasn't been any consistency really with that line all year. It's been a lot of switching around. And I'm not sure if what's his name still out this game. Lamb. I ain't been high on Lamb because ain't no reason to be high on Lamb because the dude. I don't know, man. I don't know
He
what happened.
sucks, bro.
I'm trying to figure out what happened with him because in the preseason, you would swear everything you heard coming out of camp is that Lamb has arrived. You know, he got it. He done figured it out. And I mean, since the first snap of first preseason game, that he saw some shot, he ain't staying in very long. Shit, he ain't been looking good at all, man. So I don't know that situation with him. A couple other things I'm trying to think of. I should have left my notes somewhere. There's a couple other points I wanted to touch on with the Texans. Defensively, you know, like you say, the Jags, Bortles been doing a slightly all right these last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's been doing better.
How do you feel? How do you feel we gonna show up against them defensively? Like I say, Fournette, I don't think he practiced today, so I don't know if he's gonna be dinged up or if he's gonna be playing or not. But I mean, you know, most likely he will be. So
Fournette being out or being dinged up can actually help us. Because at the end of the day, the only person that we truly need to, well, two people that we truly need to be worried about in their passing game is Mercedes Lewis, because he's been balling this year. He has some sort of resurgence. I don't know if he prayed to Illuminati or not. I mean, who knows? You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't know what they do out there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they didn't suffer long enough, and now he's playing out of this world. So, I mean, we got to worry about him because tight ends, we just been suffering against tight ends. You know what I'm saying? And shit, we've been suffering against fullback.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't understand how the fuck we been getting murdered by fullbacks. Like for years, this been happening. You know what I'm saying? The Raiders fullbacks was killing us. They killed us in the damn Mexico City. Man. You know what I'm saying? Then last week, you know what I'm saying? We got, you know, a couple weeks ago, you know, we got fullbacks killing us. You know what I'm saying? For 60-something plus yards. That's ridiculous. That should not be happening, and fucking fullbacks should not be running. But one thing I can say defensively, I do not want to see no cover 2 or cover 4 from this Texans team because they don't have the confidence and they don't have the fucking discipline to get deep, play their assignments, and they don't pass off. You know, when they rub receivers, that nobody else goes back into their zone. They don't squat on routes long enough, and at the end of the day, they play off entirely too far to keep up with dudes who are faster than them. So another option they're going to have that's going to be able to kill us is Marquise Lee. But he's not consistent, so we don't even know what we're going to get from him. And I'm not worried about anybody else except for Blake Bortles' legs. Yeah, because he can make plays outside the pocket.
Yeah, and that is definitely true. That's definitely true. Y'all see some folks talk about the game. I know it ain't starting about 30 minutes. I know they're talking about Capella gonna dunk on Dwight. Hell yeah, he gonna dunk on Dwight. Shit, Capella was balling. He was getting with Cousins the other game. Shit, Cousins he dunked on. Cousins tried to dunk on him. He wasn't having it. So shit, we're gonna see he stepped it up a notch. But like I say, the Jags can. And that's the thing about these Jags, though. It's almost like which Jags team shows up. Now they've been a little bit more consistent these last few weeks. Early and midway through the season, you know, they were kind of up and down, 50-50. Like some games they would show up and they would be smoking people, and then they would seem like they would just get blew out by, you know, I forgot who they played early in the season. There was a couple of crazy games that they had, but when they looked like they had finally got it, and then like I say, sometimes they just kind of fall back. But they have the potential to still stink it up with Bortles at QB. I know they feel real good about him, but I still feel like Bortles is a guy. You know, he may give you a good game or two, but he also has that potential to turn it over 3-4 times and, you know, give away a game. You know, no matter how good that defense plays, and what I think a lot of the Jags fans do, they count a little bit too heavily on it. You can't expect your deal. I mean, as good as they have been at scoring, I mean, you can't expect a score from your defense every game. That's putting just a little bit too much on. That's not something you want to count, you know what I'm saying, on as a regular thing taking place. So I just feel like, man, I saw Tenny say it earlier, I believe, that the first half it'll look good. You know, defense will have the energy, but then second half it'll end up getting gassed and kind of wear down, and it's going to end up being a wrap. But I don't think I see it being a. I don't see him just blowing us out. Like I said, I feel like Yates gives like a little bit of a spark to the Texans. You know, a QB change always tends to do that a little bit. So I think, you know, they may play, they may feed off that energy. They may feel, you know, something from that beat down earlier in the year. They may have some juice from that. You know, sometimes those emotions fired up can help improve the play. You never know. Sometimes it's those intangible things that may be a benefit. But I'm honestly, it's not looking real good. I'm still talking shit because fuck the Jags. You know, that's just how I feel personally. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be a close one either way. But I can't say I honestly feel real confident about coming out with the W. I feel like we gonna have a way. We gonna just, it's like it's a team of who's gonna fuck up less at this point. You know what I mean? Us, because like I say, we just got a bunch of pick apart pieces on the fucking really all around the whole team, because the offense is the line scrambled up. What you mentioned, we got a third string quarterback in there. Will Fuller's back, that's good, so you have to give him a little bit of respect, but like I said, the chemistry and a lot of other things. So I don't know if I'm super confident in this one, even though I've been damn near riding with the Texans every game so far this year. I got to really think about this one, because like I said, I got some Jags trolls to deal with. So I got to think about my prediction on this one real tough and hard, man. But but like I say,
I mean, how I feel on it, I mean, they defense, man, is just proven, you know what I'm saying, that, they going to be formidable for years to come as long as the right people stay in. As long as they keep the right pieces, and as long as they stay disciplined and they have the right defensive coach, which that's what Doug Marrone really is. You know what I'm saying? And, and then you got Mike Tomlin guiding you, and he's a defensive, guru. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We've seen what some of his defenses have done. So when you have that along, and as long as you don't have Blake Bortles to lose you the game, they're going to always be in contention. And they're going to always be in games. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know they lost some games, and true enough, you cannot trust Blake Bortles. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't trust him, at all. But it's dudes around him, you know what I'm saying, that's going to end up, that's going to end up making the fucking plays. But the only thing I'm seriously worried about is just how they're going to scheme Clowney. Because how they schemed him the first game was kind of ridiculous, and I didn't expect that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure that they can't do that again, because they don't have Cam Robinson. You know what I'm saying? But we don't have J.J. Watt. We don't have another pass rusher really to come in to really create some pressure, even though we created a lot of pressure. But the only way we even stay in this game defensively is if we do a lot of cornerback blitzes. We got to do a lot of zone blitz, and we got to play a lot of press man, and a lot of zone coverage. Not two man, not quarters. You know what I'm saying? Because they can't seem to run Tampa 2 to say they life in this scheme, because they don't have the depth, and they whiff on too many passes. So I honestly don't want to see fucking Kevin Johnson on no boundary. I want him playing like the slot or some shit like that, because he was fucking terrible.
I don't even want to talk about Kevin Johnson. Y'all know I tried to be Team KJ early on, man. That boy didn't disappoint me so much this year, man. I don't even got it. I can't do it. I can't do it, man. But yeah, absolutely. Of course, Wink know his shit, man. That's why we have Wink Wednesdays, and Wink know what he's talking about, man. So we got to bring Wink on.
And I appreciate that. Whoever said that, who said that?
That was Mr. Chill. And so make sure y'all hit the description below, and make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to that Third Coast Sports TV. But like I said, at the same time, man, like I say, with all the injuries and everything that the Texans have taken on, it's almost kind of hard to even really just get excited for the situation. It's almost like at this point we just drag it through the rest of the season. You like a fucking limp animal, you know what I'm saying, trying to escape some motherfucking lines or something, man. It's just a bad situation just to suffer through the end of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Just barely making it through. And so it's like I say, it's hard to get excited for this game. You try to have faith, but it's very few highlights that you can look at. Like I say, just one of my things, like I say, I definitely want to see, the Hopkins versus, Ramsey or Bouye or whoever in front of him, if him being,
that's gonna be a good matchup.
Yeah, him being the best receiver in the league right now, and a lot of people wanting to dub those guys as the best cornerback duo. But we heard that people trying to say Jimmy Smith was the best corner. People trying to say Peterson's the best corner. A lot of people saying it's the best corner. We saw what Hopkins has done to everybody.
And he beat them all.
Exactly. So it'll be nice to see him go ahead and get two birds with one stone this game. Go ahead and get a little bit of Bouye, get a little bit of Ramsey too. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and mix it up. And so you can eat on that, man.
Mr. Chill, I appreciate that you subscribe to the channel, bro. You go ahead, you can tune in, and make anybody who subscribes to me today, from watching this stream, if y'all subscribe, y'all got to hit that bell icon when I start doing my live videos, because I don't want y'all to miss those. Because the last live stream I did was probably the best one, and we had a lot of traffic, a lot of people in that came and tuned in, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, I tell you, if OKC lose this game, it's gonna be over with. it's definitely gonna be over with. They gonna fuck around and trade Paul George. They're gonna be done with him. So yeah, Wink channel is down in the description below. It's Third Coast Sports TV. So make sure y'all check that out. It's down in the description box. But yeah, as a matter of fact, I don't even know what the score is in that game and what's going down. So I'm trying to think what's happening.
Oh, it's you say OKC in Indiana. It's 95-88.
95-88.
Indiana just scored yeah. I just switched to ESPN.
Okay.
Well, it's 95-89. I'm waiting on this boy to go ahead and shoot this free throw real quick. He shot it. He hit it. So it's 95-90. And it's got 2 minutes, 13 seconds left.
Okay.
Yeah, so they, okay, could end up dropping this damn game. Who knows?
Okay, yeah, they could definitely still do that. Yeah, man, absolutely appreciate that, Tenny, man. Yeah, man, if y'all following through, man, like the stream, like the motherfucking stream, show some love for the flavor, man. Like I said, if y'all like it, show some love for Wink Wednesdays. You know what I'm saying? It definitely goes down. Somebody said I need to do an ask.
And I appreciate everybody who was on. And don't think, and not to cut you off, Honcho, but don't think I didn't see y'all comments the other day when Darren was on and y'all wanted me to do Wednesdays and Thursdays. Hey, that's up to the man, Honcho. You know what I'm saying? If y'all want to do something like that, because I don't want to take from other streamers who are able to spread sauce on this channel, from me to Tenny to whoever wants to get on, because a lot of y'all guys, I love to see Duck Scout on here. I love
wait on Duck Scout too.
Mr. Killer KB, a lot of guys, you know what I'm saying, they give their takes, man. I want to hear what they got to say. Dominic Delgado, you know what I'm saying, Alpha X, you know what I'm saying, Ferocious, all these guys, they need to go ahead and get on the show one day.
So here's the deal. Before we get up out of here, because I'm gonna hit the 45, I'm gonna go get situated to go catch this game. But here's the deal. So I'm gonna let you have a chance if you would like to make a verbal, an audible rebuttal to any of the statements Mr. Davis had. You know what I'm saying? I know that y'all have had some discussion towards the situation. So like I said, before we get up out of here, I'll let you make a rebuttal. And while we're doing that, let's go ahead and get the end of the stream roll call getting in. So if you didn't shout out where you from in the beginning, make sure if you're from the city, shout out your side. If you're not from the city, shout out, you know what I'm saying, your town, your city, your country, wherever you're from. So make sure to show some love. So okay, so how do you feel about, like I say, some of the Martavius Bryant? We were talking about Ladarius Green, a couple other things. Some of the views that Mr. Davis had on some of those things.
Man, look at my hot face. That's all I could do. All I could do was just stare at the damn screen and try to make sense of what the young man was saying. I can understand certain things that he was saying, but he really wasn't making no valid points, and he tried to make it seem like he was right about so many things, which he really wasn't. At the end of the day, I don't think he really had a broad enough audience to really come back to, to really justify what he said about the offseason, because I didn't start following him around then, so I didn't go back that far when it came to Darren. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really say. I mean, I ain't calling him a liar. I'm pretty sure he did, have a lot of good taste in terms of the O-line. And, the fact that with Whitworth, I mean, of course he's right, in that aspect, so I can go ahead and I can give him that, but to sit here and act like Martavius Bryant just gives us this fucking edge because he runs a 4.3 at the end of the day. Shit, he run a 4.3 with Ben Roethlisberger, and what the fuck is he doing? Throughout his whole career, he has, 1,700 total yards? He doesn't even have 20 catches on this season with a top 5 quarterback, with Juju Smith-Schuster, with Bell out the backfield, with Big Ben throwing him the ball, and AB on the other side. So that means you should be killing in the slot. That sounds like you should be the perfect slot man, or Juju should be the perfect slot man if that's the case. You know what I'm saying? I'm not seeing you on no highlight reels going to go get no 50-50 balls. I'm not seeing you extending.
Oh, man, hold on 1 second. Don't mean to cut you off, man. Mr. Chill, appreciate that love, man. Mr. Chill just came through with the super chat love. Just dropped 20 in the super chat, man. Definitely appreciate that
man.
love, man.
Shout out to you, Mr. Chill, man. Shit,
definitely
you good with us, man. Make sure you drop that sauce, man. You A1 for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely appreciate that love. Definitely appreciate that love.
Man, you definitely A1 for that.
Man, so
yeah, salute to you, bro.
Absolutely.
But in terms of him thinking that Martavius Bryant and Ladarius Green are just these great options, this is what kills me about his Ladarius Green argument. Because trust me, we're not the only one. ones who needed why tight end talent. Other teams are needed it, and at the end of the day, this man is 6'6", 6'5", whatever you claim he is, with this vertical, his hands. At the end of the day, I ain't never seen him on no highlight reels dominating. I'm not seeing him blowing up no dudes on the offensive line during run plays. I'm not seeing him making no spectacular possessions, and he ain't no Jimmy Graham. He ain't no Greg Olsen. Hell, he ain't even no Gary Barnage, who was way better than him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I ain't never seen him with no 10 catch down season. I ain't never seen him with no 70, 80 catches. You know what I'm saying? He ain't no Travis Kelce or Gronk or Greg Olsen. Like, come on, he ain't even a prime Jason Witten. Hell, he's not even a Benjamin Watson. You know what I'm saying? So to sit here and act like this man is so fucking raw, he ain't even Hunter Henry. You know what I'm saying? Antonio Gates. I could go on and on and on and on. And I could go on and on about that, because Darius Green ain't finna get no love by my mouth. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it quits on him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Enron. You know what I'm saying? But what I will say, back to Mr. Martavis Bryant, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he don't have no potential. I'm not saying who that, but who got time to be wasting with potential with the type of team that we have now? We ain't got no fucking time to be taking a flyer on nobody with the amount of talent that we got on this team. We got Deshaun Watson on this team, and we got dudes on the defensive side of the football years that we cannot prolong.
You're not
you know what I'm
about
saying?
That.
So why in the fuck am I going to sit here and take a flyer? And he never could justify or answer the question about his reasoning for the 3rd or 4th round pick for Martavis Bryant.
Yeah,
that was just pure stupidity.
Here's my thing. No, I see a lot of people talk about that. It's not no beef. It's not no nothing like that. But
it ain't no beef.
I want people to understand that, be able to provide their perspectives, and have a rebuttal. That's what the discussion is about. Like, I want people to realize that we're all Texans fans, but we all have different point of views. You know what I'm saying? So, one of us may think that, this would be the best move for the Texans to go in this direction. Somebody may have a counter opinion. I feel like, we can discuss it back and forth, and we'll have Darren back on, and, he'll be able to offer a rebuttal if he feels something different. You know what I mean? So I don't want nobody to think it's nobody starting no shit. No, it's nothing like that, dog. Like I say all the time, we all same team over here. We all have the best interest for our team, and you know what I'm saying, in mind. So it ain't none of that hate. I don't want nobody to think it's no nothing like that.
No, please don't. This ain't no beef. This ain't no direction. This ain't no. People was in the chat saying the same shit that I was saying. Like, what the fuck is this man talking about? Like, what are you talking about? And that's exactly the type of, like, what is he talking about? Because he wasn't making any sense. I understand he tried to go around, a couple of questions. That's just how I felt about the situation. It wasn't as direct as I would have liked, but at the end of the day, that's it. That was his format. He had his platform, and I had been waiting to hear what he had to say for weeks. You know what I'm saying? But he has no talent. He's not even more talented than Bruce Ellington on his team. He's not more talented than Steven Anderson. He's not more talented than any of these guys that we have on our current roster, some of which aren't even playing for the rest of the season. And he's not even better than Jalen Strong. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't care about him getting caught up with weed and this and that shit, man, bro. Do what you got to do to heal your body. At the end of the day, fuck this league, because this league, you're giving everything to this damn league. They take everything from you. The fans shit on you the moment that you don't do what they say, and they act like they own you. You ain't no fucking. You're a fucking man just like everybody else is, who got a family, who got to provide. So at the end of the day, this man doing something what 2% of the people in this country can't do, and that's play professional football at the highest level. So you can't sit here. So some of y'all fans, y'all need to pipe the fuck down with, they need to do this like it's your fucking money, bro. You ain't paid nobody a goddamn dime working for somebody. How in the hell is you gonna sit here and tell another man what he should and he shouldn't be doing?
Absolutely.
No boss. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Dudes love the boss. You know what I'm saying? Because these songs out here making them feel good, making them feel sassy. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, keep it G with yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got to answer to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? You only make decisions in your household. You only a boss in your household if you have them. You know what I'm saying? Because some people, they may not even have that. You know what I'm saying? But they still think they're the boss of their mind.
Yeah, man, and that's the thing, man.
They got problems, shit they can't handle.
People got to understand there's definitely levels to this shit, and you got to understand what level you on, and just accept that. You can move up to the next level. You can accept where you at, you know what I'm saying, you could always move up, but you got to be realistic with yourself first. You know what I'm saying? And some people
And that
don't
don't
really.
and me making that statement, I mean you ain't going places. You know what I'm saying? You got to crawl before you walk.
Yeah.
You know, but in terms of his I didn't get it. He never really answered. I don't feel like he thoroughly answered any of my questions. You know what I'm saying? Directly. You know what I'm saying? He kind of went around it, but I could understand some of his logic to a fault. I could see where he would like to go, and but at the end of the day, it just didn't match what we have with the organization now. And
Yeah.
true enough, okay, yeah, if Watson gets out, but who's to say that Martavis Bryant is going to be open? And even if he is open, who's to say he's going to get the ball? Because
Yeah.
what he failed to mention throughout that whole elongated explanation he had was trust and how the fuck is he going to pick up this scheme, which is
Yeah.
way harder than anything that
Yeah,
Pittsburgh does.
that's my thing is the scheme. You know, you got guys who've already been in the system. You know, Ellington, he did the damn thing, but you know, like I say, you changing out pieces that I feel like it was the same thing when people were talking about, making that trade for Dwayne Brown. A lot of people were talking about, what about Jimmy Graham? I'm like, well, is there enough upside? Is there enough value in the difference between like Graham and say CJ? And I wasn't really seeing it. I think he kind of came on as late. I know he kind of had a good game against us, but the same thing in this situation. You want a receiver, but are you getting enough upside? How much more value does he bring than the man you already have in that position? And I just don't see that Martavius really brings that much more than anybody else. There's potential,
No.
like you said, but as far as what I've seen on the field,
Right.
I prefer what I'm seeing from Ellington, Fuller, Hopkins, and I think those other pieces. Miller was actually starting to look like a little something. He just kind of fell into an unfortunate situation. But I'd rather guys who've been here who are more familiar with the system, the scheme, and that makes the whole cohesion a little bit easier.
I took out just like a rocket. I'm gone. Elijah Hakeem.
One other major point that he made. That I feel like I got to address that he never addressed, that I put in the comment section the other day, was when he said out his mouth that the Texans, that Bill O'Brien, no, because he said Bill O'Brien has developed players in this fucking system. No, he hasn't. DeAndre Hopkins was already a nice receiver before he got here. He didn't have to develop Lamar Miller. He's developed no quarterback other than Deshaun Watson. You had a quarterback for 4 years who was a complete failure in a Houston Texans uniform. He's 1-7 in all of his starts. He gets hurt. He makes poor decisions. He has poor pocket presence. He has bad footwork, and he holds on to the ball too long. It's some things you just can't teach him, no matter how good of a coach you think you are. So, at the end of the day, give all that credit to the defense, and that's all belong to Romeo Crennel. And you know why he gets the credit? Because he's a 3-time Super Bowl champion. He's been a head coach, and he knows how to evaluate true talent on the defensive side. That's why they perform the way that they have, because your defensive numbers are nowhere near in comparison to your fucking offensive numbers. You know what I'm saying? Your offensive numbers have been mediocre at best, and you've been 9-7 throughout your entire tenure as a Houston Texans head coach. So you don't get to sit here and tell me how good you think you are and how proven your system is when it was only beneficial when you had Tom Brady, who's the greatest fucking quarterback of all time.
Yeah, man, I'm laughing. We got I was waiting how long to see for CB drag Jags trolls to slide and hear Jags for life, old weak ass. Y'all ain't talking about shit as usual. Y'all don't ever have shit to talk about. My thing is, man, just bring some validity to the situation. Y'all don't ever talk about shit. That's why I don't give a fuck about y'all trolls, man. But like I say, it's a couple of minutes here before this game get going. So, like I say, is anybody you want to? Is Justice blocked? If he blocked, let me make sure you unblock. So next stream he'll be on, because I said I want to. If I got anybody blocked, I thought Justice was free. But anybody you want to shout out to before we get up out of here?
Man, I want to shout out to my baby girl. My wife, is she's still here in the stream. She came through for daddy, and I appreciate that. Go ahead, leave some more hearts. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate everybody in the stream who tuned in, who shouted me out in the prior streams, that even asked, even in the Kush thing you had earlier, Wink Wednesday was coming on. I see y'all really like the show, and I appreciate I can be entertaining for y'all, you know what I'm saying, and talk Texans and make logical sense when I talk about football. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just a Texans fan, I'm a football fan. So I can speak from football perspective and give you an insight that you probably wouldn't have otherwise. So You know, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Alpha X, you know, Tenny, Darren, if you came through, it's all love. Ain't no, trust me, ain't no being. I know you ain't gonna take nothing like that anyway, because you know you a solid dude. You know what I'm saying? Ferocious. You know, 45 Parrish, Mike Parrish, Dominic Delgado, Slasher. You know, Mr. Chill, you coming through, man. Everybody who's subscribed to me, I got notifications. You know, 13 bands on my IG, Visionary. Man, I appreciate all y'all coming through. Y'all hit that like button. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe and hit the bell icons for both channels, man. And y'all keep fucking with us, you know, throughout this long ride that we gonna have as Texans fans.
Yeah, it's gonna definitely be a roller coaster. Definitely be some ups and downs. I gotta find out. I don't be knowing where the little block shit is. So whenever I find that bitch, I'm
all you gotta do is click on his name, and you should be able. When you go on his page, you should be able to block him.
No, but it should be. It's like another list that has like a list of all the people you got blocked. I was gonna say I didn't think I blocked. I think I only blocked like 1 or 2 people. I know I blocked like that Nightbot and that Haley shit, but I don't think I blocked too many Jags fans. I just think they just ain't showing up. But there you go. There go the Hearts. You got some more love in there.
Man, I appreciate it.
But it is what it is, man. Like I say, so I appreciate all of y'all for following through, being the freshest flavors, being the freshest ingredient. Y'all only a fresh ingredient if y'all hit that like button. If y'all ain't hit that like button, y'all getting revoked for fresh ingredient status for the rest of the day. 24-hour stale situation, you know what I'm saying? Probation. That's what you're going to be on. If you're a fresh ingredient, man, hit that like button. Make sure you show some love to the stream. And I appreciate each and every one of y'all following through, showing some love for Wink Wednesday. And y'all already know I got to do my due. Got to do a little bit of self-promotion. Make sure y'all hit that StaySaucy.com, man, and go get that new Stay Saucy shirt. You can get the Stay Saucy mug, put your hot cocoa in it, you know what I'm saying? Get one for your grandma so when she have a little morning coffee, even though she pour a little something extra up in there, you know how y'all grandmas be doing. We ain't gonna talk too much trash about it, but man, get something, get fresh, get fly, get a plenty of flavor, man. Hit that Stay Saucy, get that shit. We got this long sleeve, the short sleeve, and shit, we got the hoodie too, you know what I'm saying? So make sure with that being said, man, I appreciate each and everybody who done fell through, who done showed some love, man. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all be cool like y'all be cool, and most of all, you know we're going to do it again this Wednesday, and shit, if something else good come up, we're going to do it again after that. So with that being said, though, chunking up the dudes, make sure I can see that shit, man. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool, and most of all, man, stay saucy. I'm out.